Good afternoon นะครับ everyone. So first of all นะครับ sorry for the last cancellation นะครับ because I couldn't get up on that day, so I decided to cancel the class. It's better than just without just like having any focusing on the things นะครับ okay, thanks for understanding me ครับ all right, so today we are going to continue the activity นะครับ it's your presentation, and then we are going to have the what to say the open case for module 4 นะครับ and talk about the lectures as well นะครับ all right, so on the last class I talk about the what to say the case study for module number 3 นะครับ the case study for Akamai case นะครับ. So today I would like you to have just like two of the groups to present on module 3 case study only, so that you can have time to do module 4 and then do the case study of module 4 นะครับ all right, okay นะครับ so can I have 2 volunteers for presenting on case number 3? Sujina want to volunteer. Okay, thank you ครับ นัฐการครับ นัฐการ and your team to present นะครับ so we have 2 presentation today นะครับ
So hello, we are going to present the case study Akamai Technologies attempting to keep supply ahead of demand. Our group members are Tantita, Sujina, and Nanisha. First, we are going to summarize the case study. So the amount of internet traffic has increased significantly over the year and is still growing. Akamai is one of the web major helpers. It was founded by Tom Layton and Daniel Levin, MIT professor and grad student respectively. A numerous number of companies use its services to speed up the content delivery on the internet. It serves more than 30 terabits of web traffic per second. People tend to use Akamai because it solves most people's pain points. The web pages and contents sometimes load slowly because of the infrastructure of the internet. The internet is a collection of networks that has to transfer information from one network to another. Every packet sent over the internet must be verified by the receiving server and sender receive an acknowledgement. Moreover, there is the issue of latency or delay, where it took time and capacity for verifying package. It's called the distribution of content such as music to slow down. Besides, it also slows down the interactive requests such as buying process.
It is indisputable that the poor design will somehow cause the problem of reducing the speed of loading web pages. Akamai has a theoretical starting point from Levin's master's thesis, which helps the web page to become more faster in loading. What they did is to store the data and contents that were copied, namely images and video clips, in many different locations on the internet. By this, users will be able to retrieve the copied content that is stored near them. The cloud platform has over 216,000 servers in 120 countries. They even have more than 1,500 global networks that have about 85% of internet users. Other than the advantage of the high speed, they are also reliable. As there are many businesses in these modern days that have to rely on the constant flow of the internet connection, it will be more likely for people to use Akamai because of their strong security. Their software also allows the platform to identify and block security threats. Nevertheless, Akamai is still aware of the cybercrime which has been continuously increasing since traffic migrates to the internet.
Additionally, Akamai faces a new challenge, which is the growth of streaming videos. This includes increased competition about the speed of content delivery through the internet between Akamai, Comcast, and Amazon. Huge clients such as Facebook and Apple started to shift away from using Akamai services to in-house services. Moreover, another issue that Akamai has to consider is the environmental problem. However, Akamai has undertaken sweeping efforts to reduce carbon emissions, energy expenditure, as well as the greenhouse gas emissions. Furthermore, security tools, such as the tools that are designed to protect employees from phishing and malware, are planned to be expanded back then in 2017, while the future of its content delivery business is less certain due to the increases in competition and the challenges of internet growth. The company remains profitable.
So for the case study, the first question, why does Akamai need to geographically disperse its servers to deliver its customer web content? So the web pages and content sometimes load slowly because of the infrastructure of the internet. Akamai is a content delivery network service provider. They need to geographically disperse its service to deliver its customer web content because it's stored in many different places around the world. So when people are looking for that content, they can retrieve it from a nearby location. This will make a web page load faster and decrease the issue of latency or delay, where it took time and capacity for verifying packages. For example, a user in New York City will serve LL Bean pages from New York metro area Akamai servers, while another user in San Francisco will be served LL Bean pages from Akamai server in San Francisco. Moreover, any content from large files such as video or audio will be redirected and served to the user from an Akamai nearby local service when a client requests for them, as Akamai servers store the files that are unable to be sent quickly. Consequently, Akamai, especially to a cloud platform, serve 120 countries with over 216,000 servers within over 1,500 networks around the world.
If we wanted to deliver software contents over the internet, we would sign up for Akamai's services. As we stated, Akamai's service web page is fast to load no matter where we access the web page around the world due to the storing of the copy of contents in many different locations on the internet. In addition, it was proved that compared to the non-Akamized content, the Akamized one would be 4 to 10 times faster. Moreover, it is trustworthy because the Akamai software on these servers will help the platform to be able to identify and block the intimidation of security. They also provide inclusive knowledge of network conditions, which also detect and optimize instant device level. Furthermore, Akamai keeps improving their Kona Site Defender tool. This will make the service to be more secure for Akamai clients. In 2016, Akamai also released a new update for its web application firewall.
And for the last question, do you think internet users should be charged based on the amount of bandwidth they consume, or on a tier plan where users would pay in rough proportion to their usage. In our opinion, the internet user should be charged based on a tier plan. Most people do not use the same amount of the internet every month. In some cases, like us as a student, our internet usage might drop when we have no class during the break. However, we use an excessive amount of internet use during the term, like communicating with friends for group work. Additionally, especially these days where we study from home due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the tier plan is even more worthwhile as we have to attend classes, download lectures, watch videos, and accomplish most activities online. Therefore, it would be beneficial for us to pay based on the tier plan. Moreover, paying fixed payment on the internet makes it easier to roughly calculate our monthly expenses since we know how much we need to pay each month. Unlike payment based on the amount of bandwidth they consume, that we don't know the payment until we get the bill from the internet provider. On the other hand, there's also the other group of users who are not consuming large amount of bandwidth compared to the price they need to spend in rough proportion. For these individuals, it might be better if they could charge based on the amount of bandwidth they consume. It is indisputable that some people, especially most of the elders, tend to have less access to the internet. It will be an excess of payment and it would not be worth to the money to spend. And that's all for our presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you นะครับ for Sutinas and your group นะครับ now let's move on to the second group นะครับ Natakar's group.
Akamai Technologies. Slow loading web pages and content sometimes results from poor design, but most of the time stems from the underlying infrastructure of the internet. The internet today spends most of its time and capacity verifying packets, contributing to a problem called latency or delay. Akamai Technologies was founded by Tom Layden and Daniel Levin with the idea of expedition internet traffic to overcome limitations. Akamai Technology had the idea of storing copies of web content such as pictures or videos, clips, at many different locations around the internet, so that one could always retrieve a nearby copy, making web pages load faster. Akamai's current products are based on the Akamai Intelligent Platform, a cloud platform made up of 216,000 servers in 120 countries with over 1,500 networks around the world. Akamai software on these servers allow the platform to identify and block security threats and provide comprehensive knowledge of network condition, as well as instant device-level detection and optimization. Akamai site performance products allow customers to move their online content closer to end users. In 2015, Akamai delivered between 15 and 30% of all web traffic and over 3 trillion daily transactions. When a user requests a song or video file, his or her request is redirected to an Akamai server nearby and the content is served from his local server. Akamai software determines which server is optimal for the user and then transmits the Akamai's content locally. Websites that are Akamai's can be delivered anywhere from 4 to 10 times as fast as non-Akamai's content.
As more business and business models are moving to the web, Akamai has seen its client base continue to grow. However, the growth of streaming video has also created new challenges. This includes an increase in competition from Comcast and Amazon. Amazon CloudFront Content Delivery Network is already bringing in $1.8 billion in revenues. Larger clients like Apple and Facebook are also increasingly shifting their content delivery operations away onto its in-house content delivery networks. Reducing carbon emission and energy expenditure as demand grows has been another challenge for Akamai. Akamai has continued to improve its corner site Defender tool. This offers a variety of security measures. The tool protects against distributed denial of service attacks and includes a firewall for web applications. It also upgrades its site Defender's web application firewall feature and develop modifications to the tool. This makes it easier for the user to use. Akamai is in a really strong position to sell security services to its customer. In 2015, Akamai partnered with top information security firm Trustwave to cross-sell each other's services and products, expanding their offering and reaching even further. Akamai has also moved into the Chinese market and the Middle East market, hoping to become a major provider in the fast-growing areas. In 2016, Akamai restructured its business into two distinct units, one focusing on content delivery and media, and the other on website security. The improvement in Akamai security businesses have offset any slowdown in their content delivery business, as the company registered earnings well above analyst estimates, despite increased competition in content delivery. While the future of its content delivery business is cloudier due to the increase in competition and the challenges of internet growth, the company is still really profitable.
For the Q&A, why does Akamai need to geographically disperse its servers to deliver its customer web content? The internet today spends much of its time and capacity verifying packets, contributing the problem called latency or delay. So Akamai came up with the idea of storing copies of web content such as pictures or video clips at many different locations around the internet so that one could always retrieve a nearby copy, making web page load faster. Next, if you want to deliver software content over the internet, would you sign up for Akamai service? Why not? The case study stated websites that are Akamai's can be delivered anywhere from 4 to 10 times as fast as non-Akamai content. This is very appealing if we were to deliver content over the internet. However, there are many major competitors such as Comcast and Amazon. Therefore, it would be wise to compare them for the best price, server location, and the delivery speed. Do you think the internet user should be charged based on the amount of bandwidth they consume or the tiered plan where users would pay in the rough proportion to their usage? We think as the internet bandwidth and speed grow, content such as 4K Netflix and 4K YouTube would consume an enormous amount of bandwidth. Charging the user based on the amount of bandwidth they consume would make the feed get out of hand very quickly. It also means content consumer like Netflix user who are already paying subscription fee have to pay more and more each time they consume paid content. In this day and age, it is impossible to live without the internet. Therefore, bandwidth or usage, therefore paying for bandwidth or usage should not be a thing. I think internet users should have unlimited internet usage. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for this team นะครับ for Natakar's and your group นะครับ all right. So everyone, I sent you one the line in our live group นะครับ I message you that okay we need to schedule the makeup class นะครับ because on last Wednesday I was sick, we had to cancel the class, right? On this coming Wednesday there will be public holiday นะครับ that MUIC does not allow us to make up class on that day, so we have to cancel the class again. And on next Wednesday I have to meet with the doctor นะครับ it's a long time appointment, so I cannot avoid it. So there will be another cancellation again. So sorry about that. So that's why we need to have 3 makeup class altogether. I would like to ask you for the slot of time that you have class. And then I just like find out which slot is the lightest one, or none of you have class, so that I can schedule the makeup class during that time. Hopefully it shouldn't be the same as like previous term for our CS class. The only makeup class time I had was just like 6 to 8 o'clock in the evening. But I hope that it should be just like some other time that is better than that. So please submit your schedule by Wednesday by Wednesday before before noon on Wednesday, so that I can just like find out a slot for you and let you know as soon as I can. Okay, so after we talk about like the things that I asked you to help me to find out the slot of time already, the next thing that I would like you to do is that I want you to just read the case study for me. I would like you to spend 15 minutes to read this case. It is case number 4, open case. Okay, I want you to read the case study number 4. Okay, that is open case. Just won't be long. Let me just refresh my screen first, because I have some updates a bit. Okay. This one, open case module 4 T1 in here. There are 3 pages. So what do I want for this case? I want to have just the case study summary only, because this case doesn't have the question. I want you to read this case and summarize it for me. So I think one way that I'll try today is that for the open case, I will let you work together with your group mate in the breakout room. So that one easy way that you may do is that suppose you have 3 people in your team. You just like assign who will read what page, and after that, when you finish that page, you just like share among your group members that okay, what did you read, what did you get from the part that you read, in order, page 1, page 2, page 3. In here we have started from page 185 to 187. Who read 185? What is that? How is it about? And then you just like share in your group, so that you do save the time a lot. Let's try this one. I want you to see this one. If you just like share the work to each other, it's easier and faster than just like read everything by yourself. Okay, so in here we have altogether 5 groups. Then I open up the the breakout room for 5 rooms, so that you can just like go to each room according to what you need. Okay, let me just tell you which room that you should go, so that you not be confused. For room number 1, room number 1 is for Tantita, Sujina, and Natnisha. Room number 2 is for Philip, Pongsakorn. Room number 3 is for Napat, Jirayu, and Nichanan. Room number 4 is for Hasadin, Shakira, and Natakan. And finally, room number 5 is for Rin Radipon and Atiwat. Okay, so that you not be confused. Just go to your correct room. We'll meet each other in the main room in the next 15 minutes. Okay, right. Okay, now the room is open for you. And when you come back, I will just ask 2 more teams for presenting the summary. That are the new group. Okay, then Jirayu group Cup, please tell us what you discover in this open case.
Okay, so like Wall Street Journal has been venerated newspaper with focus on business and well educated like for 125 years. It is one of the top publications worldwide in terms of the number of subscribers, approximately 2.8 million, and it's also the most recognizable and respected newspaper in the world. Wall Street Journal was also one of the first new organizations with its own app for the iPad, which released in 2010. However, from 2010 to 2015, Wall Street Journal began to lag behind other newspapers and websites as devices become smaller. Although it was the first mover into the mobile space, other paper made sweeping changes to their website and mobile offering during this time period that better suit mobile browsing.
Okay. Next, in 2015, Wall Street Journal took a complete redesign of its website and mobile apps across the platform. It released new iPad and Android apps with variety of new features to improve user experience, and follow that up with the release of app for Apple Watch and Windows 10 operating system. It also added its first mobile-only product. After that, they also released What's News column that appears on the front page of the print version, and London-specific app called WSJ City that provides frequent updates on the most significant business news in London. In the next year, they have plans for more specific function on specific platform, and they launched WSJ.D, which is focused on technology, news, analysis, commentary, and product review. Next is also integrated the team that works on technology, product, and design element into the newsroom so that the new editor and authors can have direct input to the shaping of technological future of WSJ. This had helped WSJ keep pace with other top newspapers. One of the objectives of this overhaul is to ensure user experience to ensure that user experience was consistent across all the different devices. For example, you can see the same article that with your progress saved on your iPad and iPhone at the same time. And the option for navigating article were reduced for simplicity and ease. The options dropped by nearly half on many pages. In the past, there were different options on different devices in different places on the screen, which make it harder to read. In addition to making the user experience more consistent, they hope to improve it also. The app versions are more responsive and usually appealing. The graphical elements are more interactive. The app loads faster, and the WSJ also wanted reading experience to feel natural on any device, which required to optimize its app on the screen side of many devices. Most of the feedback has been positive, and there were also many requested features such as market data center feature prominently on the new website homepage, with essential information on the stock of that day. The iOS app also has the journal widget, which place the story of news and notification on the top of your device. The WSJ can put their direct link to their app on that, and the user will feel like the user will feel the smooth transition between the app and the iOS.
In 2008, 10% of Wall Street Journal traffic came from via mobile devices. After 8 years, that figure sits at 55% and continue to grow very rapidly. The Wall Street Journal has about 900,000 digital-only subscribers, which is a little bit behind New York Times with 1 million digital-only subscribers, but are ahead of the Financial Times with only more than 500,000 members. But most of its 1.5 million printed edition subscribers have all-access subscriptions. Although measuring subscription numbers has become complicated as the number of digital devices and the reading platform has grown, the trend away from print toward digital has long been clear throughout the industry. Despite the proliferation of the mobile platform, 2/3 of Wall Street Journal subscribers visit the website homepage each month. Realizing this, Wall Street Journal included the website as a key component of its redesign. It turns out the readers use whatever device they are convenient at that time. Another effect of the wider array of options for the Wall Street Journal subscriber is that different trends and reading patterns emerge on each platform. Wall Street Journal is upgrading its analytic capabilities with the goal of using them in the newsroom and in a larger business strategy. An example of this approach is already delivering results, which is the breakdown of device usage in the readers. Tablet usage is growing to approximately about 10% per year. Smartphone usage is growing 30 to 40% per year. It's very obvious that the smartphone should be the major focus for the Wall Street Journals. They also has an app users that are more active, engaged than web browser users, spending more time in the app and reading more articles. App users are also likelier to maintain their subscriptions than any type of users. So Wall Street Journal decided to drop the LinkedIn share button in 2016 because its analytics indicate that it siphons off more traffic than it returned. The feature that the Wall Street Journal's engineers are working on are tailored specifically for the app experience. Their goal is to provide live video coverage via mobile devices. Another is to improve the push alert to make them more relevant to each user, and they will analyze the reader data to understand what type of stories are most appealing to individual users or individual groups. Wall Street Journal can provide custom push alerts that are likeliest to motivate readers to swipe and move to the app. Another feature in development is Read It Later, which is pretty much self-explanatory. The Wall Street Journal will also continue to optimize its Apple Watch app, which allows users to tilt their watch while looking at the headline to make sure that that story becomes available on your iPhone app. Going forward, Wall Street Journals hope to begin on other features that would help in the future. It will be continuously redesigning its roles with their engineering team and products team in the newsroom. It is very likely that they will achieve this level of development. Wall Street Journal is one of the first organizations that experienced with the virtual reality technology to improve its reporting. To the end, it updated its app with built-in 360-degree video and virtual reality capability. And as you can see, Wall Street Journal has once again solidified its status as an industry leader. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Nakab. So now let's go to the next team, Nakab. Atiwats and your team, Kab.
Okay, we'll start very soon.
Yes, please.
Okay, so this article is about the Wall Street Journal or the WSJ, which has been a newspaper that focus on business and well-educated news and stuff. And it actually has been trying to make effort to stay on a cutting edge in an industry that has seen significantly disruption in the past decade. So it prioritize on developing a paywall for digital content. And WSJ was one of the first news organizations with its own app for the iPad, which was released in 2010. But then later on, it began to fall behind the other newspapers because as the device becomes smaller, like it requires suitable application for it. And then Google updated its search algorithm that prioritize on the sites that are optimized for mobile device, which not only caused the WSJ to suffer, but a lot of other companies has failed to achieve mobile revenues. And then in 2015, the WSJ actually redesigned everything and make it like possible, like cost platform. And it also released like new features which can improve user experience. And it also released the version that supportable in Apple Watch and Windows 10. Then it in 2016, WSJ announced plans to launch more apps that specific function according to what's news and WSJ City. And it also has specific team that works on news technology only and like design element into the newsroom, so that the editor themselves can have an input into shaping technology for the future of WSJ. And then later on in 2016, it also announced that we will keep changing the organizational structure to keep the digital content improving.
Okay, so now that Wall Street Journal have tried to putting more of its newspapers and content onto the digital platforms like mobiles, iPads, and other forms of mobile applications now. So there are some things that they need to adjust because the mobile version of the website and the one on the actual computer website is not exactly the same. The first thing is on the consistency of the articles that they have to take care of. Because when customers access different articles from different devices, for example, if they access the article from the computer or if they access the article from the iPhone, it should be the same and it should save the progress of where they have last read off or something as well. So it is this consistency that is basically a quality of life type of feature that is needed for customers to retain attention and is for customers to be able to reliably use the services of WSJ. So that's what they did with their mobile application. And they also added a few other features on mobile that the mobile users are also using a lot as well, because mobiles, as you know, is a very portable devices that people can look at any time of the day for very quickly. So they added things like a stock market type of like things to watch the stock market and a few other features that makes it for them to read or save the article and for them to read it later on offline or things like that. Things like that are just some little things that the mobile application are able to offer for the user that the previous desktop version might be a bit harder to do. And in addition to improving the user experiences, they also have more interactive graphical interface and other things as well. For instance, the faster loading time, the the simplicity of the designing of the UIs, because the desktop version, if you just simply put it into the mobile, it's going to be very small, very clunky. It's going to be a lot of buttons where you don't have the wide screen of the PC to have a mouse to click on each button. So they have to minimize it. They have to reduce the numbers of the options that they gave, and then they also have to put in new way to navigate through the sites. For example, the scrolling to search through the articles, the tilting of the mobile devices to switch between the horizontal and vertical landscape, things like that. And maybe even adding things like the market data center, which features things like the stock market for the current time, things like that. And now it is very important for Wall Street Journal to do this because more and more people in Wall Street Journal are now using mobile to access the content. It used to be just 10% of Wall Street Journal's traffic in 2008 that came through mobiles, but then it shoots up to 55%, basically over half the people in 2016 now. And right now, presumably, it would be even higher. So more and more people are moving now to the mobile phones market. So it is very a natural and logical move for Wall Street Journal to try to cater to this majority of the people and try to make it so that mobile applications and accessing the Wall Street Journal articles through the mobile phones is a lot more simpler and a lot more accessible for the people so that they have more retention and other things as well. And it is also beneficial for Wall Street Journal as well because through the mobile phone applications, it also gives them more room to get the revenue via advertising as well. Because a lot of people would read the articles mobile, and since on mobile, they also tend to spend more time as well because it's more retention and other things. It also means that they can also generate extra revenue from advertisements, and they can also basically just also cater to the large and growing population of the users who are switching to mobile phones to access the websites. So this is basically the job that the engineers and the software designers for Wall Street Journal have to take care of. It's mostly the user experience and the user interface type of job that they have to cater to. How do you make it so that you already have a functioning Wall Street Journal website? How is it that you already have a database of a bunch of articles, and then you use it and create a user experience type of application in a way that makes it very easy for the people to access the articles and make it very easy for them to get access and just read through the things without stumbling or without feeling like a chore to read through all the articles. And that is basically the job and the line that is the Wall Street Journal is trying to go for in the mobile market. And that's the summary for this paper.
All right, thank you นะครับ for both team for your summary นะครับ that you just like presented for us. All right, so now you can see that from your case study, you know that whenever a company would like to have its presence นะครับ in the world, how can they do it นะครับ so in this one I just like want to talk about the module number 4 นะครับ the slide of module number 4 is in your canvas already นะครับ you can just like download it for just like study. All right, so let me just like share my screen to you นะครับ all right, okay, so let's talk about the building and e-commerce presence นะครับ in terms of websites, mobile sites, and applications or apps, web apps, sorry, mobile apps นะครับ okay, let me just open up my another device in Zoom first, just won't be long นะครับ all right, okay, so in this module นะครับ we will learn about like the e-commerce presence นะครับ we will learn how do we gonna just like develop this kind of online presence นะครับ as well as the offline presence as well on the e-commerce that you set up นะครับ what's the idea นะครับ whenever we talk about the e-commerce presence นะครับ the thing that you have to think about is that okay, you need to have a vision นะครับ on your e-commerce นะครับ what is your vision นะครับ in order to have the e-commerce to be in the market. Apart from that one, we have to also think about the mission statement. The mission statement means that, okay, you have to think about the mission of your e-commerce นะครับ when it is in the market already นะครับ what is the mission นะครับ that you have to declare themselves นะครับ for the e-commerce นะครับ for example you may say that, okay, our mission is to be a leader in the e-market in Southeast Asian countries, something like that. This is the mission statement นะครับ next we have to consider the target audience. Who will be your target audience, or who will be your prospective customer? You have to think about them, so that you can just like go to set up the online presence or the e-commerce presence in the correct way, and to the correct people. Intended market space, in what market you plan for. Strategic analysis. In this one, you have to think that, okay, when you would like to compete with other e-commerce that they may have in the market before you just like entered into the market, what is your strategy to win this game? Next is about internet marketing metrics. In order to do the marketing, how can you do the marketing on the internet? We have to talk about the marketing metrics that I'll talk about in detail next on. And the next one is about timeline and preliminary budget. How can you develop the timeline in order to implement all the marketing strategy in order to be present in the market, something like that. And how much money do you have for the preliminary budget? When you have these ideas already, the next thing that you have to do is that you have to think about like, where is the money? Where is the money? So for the money, you have the revenue that you have to think about. Normally the revenue or the income of the business come from your business model that you have to think about. Each business model, you have different way in order to obtain the revenue. For example, if you would like to be a portal website, you just like make your customers, the direct customers are your other website that they may just like would like you to compile and integrate all of those websites together. You work as a portal, so they pay for you. Those companies pay for you. E-tailer is the same as e-retailer. Same thing. It is the company that sells the products to its customer, to the end customer directly. We call it as e-tailer or e-retailer, and the business model is B2C, business to consumer. For example, if we are talking about central department store, it is B2C, or e-tailer. Okay, content provider. Sorry, e-tailer first. E-tailer obtain the revenue from selling the products to the customer as a retailer, but it just like make the platform to obtain the revenue to be online instead. Next is content provider. You are the owner of the content, and after that you just like sell those content, especially for the digital contents to your customer. For example, you might just like run like Netflix kind of e-commerce. You have just like the digital content in your platform, and then you just like sell to your customer. Transaction broker. For example, like I told you before, like counter service. They just like try to facilitate the way that customer, the end customer can pay some bills online, instead of just like going to the counter service in 7-Eleven. You can just like use your mobile phone to pay the credit card, to pay some services through your credit cards. by using those company as a transaction broker, and they charge you the brokerage, the transaction fee. Market creator, you set up your market space and let people to buy and sell the products, and then you just charge some money. For example, like eBay, they are market creator. Their customers are buyers and sellers. You get the money from the sellers. Instead of just like renting the space from you, you say that, okay, you charge per transaction. So it depends on your business model that you can think of. Service provider, you provide some service to the customer. For example, you might be a company that is the internet service provider, or you may be just like the host. You provide a hosting service, so that customer can just like have some cloud storage with you. That when you work as a service provider. Or community provider, some website that just like let people in the community in order to do something. For example, some announcement for vaccination or something. That is the community provider. And in terms of revenue model, we talk about advertising. People can advertise with your platform and they pay you. That is advertising. You get the revenue from the advertisement that use your platform. Subscriptions, like email services, that, or just let's say if you're talking about like email, and then or you have newsletter, or you have the the group of people that they have to pay the subscription fee for you. Transaction fees, like transaction broker that I told you about, the counter service before. Sales, you sell the product like from e-tailer, and affiliate revenue, that you may have group of people or group of company that run the similar business. For example, if you have the association of let's say the car manufacturing companies, and you just like set up the website in order to let those companies to meet with a supplier, something like that. So it depends on how do you gonna charge your money to your customer. Okay. Apart from that one, you also have to think that who and where is a target audience. When you talk about audience, the first thing that you have to think about is their demographics. Age, gender, income, location. So that's why sometimes when people sign up on some website, they ask for the demographics like this. And also their behavior patterns, like lifestyle, what do they like. In this one, you can just like notice from the data that you collected from your users as well. Sometimes you get the data from cookies file. So that's why right now it's just like announced in terms of like the intellectual property law and then the privacy law as well, that if you have any website that collect the cookies and then you would like to, you are the owner of the website or the platform that has to use that cookies, you have to ask for the permission from users first. This one you can just like collect their behavior patterns. Next is consumption patterns. Consumption here means that, okay, how and what do they buy? How frequent do they buy? Sometimes they have just some products that they buy together or something like that. That is purchasing habits. Sometimes we talk about like the frequency of purchasing. So right now you can see that most of the e-tailer nowadays they have the things that are like similar in most of the platform. For example, they have what to say, how do they call it? I forget the name. Even though I just like they call flash sale, right? Flash sale. Okay, you can see that almost all the platform they come with a flash sale. Apart from that, they have the promotion like 9.9 or 10.10. That was just like on yesterday. They have the campaign like this, and then they have like some promotions. You can see that almost all the platform they have like this promotion every month. Next year, I'm sure that they have 11.11. they have 12.12, they have Christmas, they have Boxing Day, they have New Year Day, that they can just like boost up the purchasing habits of the customers. Next นะครับ digital usage patterns นะครับ how do they gonna analyze the patterns of the digital usage of their customer. But this one, it depends on each country as well นะครับ if they have to collect the private data of their customers, they need to request for the permission first นะครับ content creation patterns like blogs and Facebook นะครับ or buyer personas นะครับ how can the buyers buy the product and services from you นะครับ so that's why we have to analyze this to know who and where is the target audience นะครับ that you have to aim to, that you have to focus to. After that นะครับ apart from who and where นะครับ is the target audience already. The next one is to characterize the marketplace นะครับ then when you have to characterize the marketplace, you have to think about the demographics นะครับ size, growth, and changes of the marketplace when the time goes by. So that means you need to have the continuously measure of the size, growth, and changes นะครับ because sometimes the behavior of the customer can be changes all the time, and they are dynamic and organic as well นะครับ and the structure นะครับ like do we have any competitors, do we have any marketplace that are our competitors or not นะครับ where are our suppliers นะครับ do we have any substitute products or not นะครับ for example if you say that okay you sell the product online นะครับ people นะครับ buy a lot of products online during this period of time because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But when the COVID-19 pandemic just like it's faded out นะครับ when most of the countries around the world allow the people to go shopping freely as usual นะครับ then the people might just like go back to just buy the products at the shopping malls instead of just buying online, something like that. Because people I mean, like for example, if you are talking about let's say we talk about Netflix right now, people watch Netflix more than in the past 2 years. It's because of COVID-19 and because the cinemas are all closed. Now when the cinemas is opening up นะครับ people will reduce using Netflix because the substitute product is the cinema is the movie in the cinema. People go back there because in there they can enjoy with their friends นะครับ they can have some popcorns, they can just like shopping around and then just go to watch the movie later นะครับ while like if you just like watch Netflix, normally we watch it from home, or at most we can just like watch it on your smartphone. But I mean, like right now when people can just like go out more นะครับ they just like spend time less on watching Netflix นะครับ so as I told you, we have the substitute product or not, and where is the content coming from, dynamic or static? Then you have to think. For example, if you say that in the past, if you run the business like the digital media such as movies นะครับ from the last 2 years นะครับ many of the movie creator they produce the movies and sell to let's say Netflix a lot. But when it resumes to the normal situation นะครับ instead of the producer who produce the movies นะครับ and sell to Netflix, they can just like show in the cinema instead นะครับ. and also it will be dynamic as well. It depends on the situation at that period of time นะครับ okay. The next one นะครับ when you talk about the e-commerce presence, you always have to think about yourself นะครับ this is really important นะครับ know yourself. How do you gonna know yourself? You have to do the SWOT analysis นะครับ for the SWOT analysis I talk about the SWOT analysis before นะครับ in the what to say interaction design courses นะครับ that means you have to analyze นะครับ yourself นะครับ in 4 different aspects. SWOT is strength weakness opportunities and threats นะครับ I'll talk about in detail on the next slide นะครับ when you know yourself already you have to develop an e-commerce presence map นะครับ then you develop a timeline or milestones to do each activities that you plan to do for promoting your e-commerce and then you have to think about the cost as well how much will it cost for example simple websites it can be up to $5,000 นะครับ depends นะครับ because for all of us นะครับ all of the CS students นะครับ soon you'll be able to just like I mean when you graduate I'm sure that even though you cannot develop your own website นะครับ because I said that you might be keen on like other thing instead but you can ask your friends นะครับ your juniors นะครับ your seniors to help developing the website as well นะครับ so the cost might be cheaper than this นะครับ so but anyway if you have to work for the corporate นะครับ the large corporate for their website นะครับ can cost up to $100,000 to millions as well because they also integrate some other technologies inside as well for example the what to say the website might cost let's say $100,000 นะครับ but they have like some enterprise system they may have some supply chain management system to be integrated with that website they have call center นะครับ to be integrated with that website so that's why those kind of software cost a lot of money so it is not just $100,000 anymore it's a lot more than that นะครับ okay next นะครับ when we talk about like we have to look at ourselves นะครับ we have to evaluate ourselves from SWOT analysis strength weaknesses opportunities and threat นะครับ strength and weakness นะครับ let's talk about these two terms first strength and weakness นะครับ these are internal factor นะครับ while opportunity and threat they are external what are different between internal and external internal here means inside your organization it's the strength that happen นะครับ internally for example in here the strength for this company say that current sites do not address market needs นะครับ unique approach นะครับ easy navigation นะครับ if you think that it's a strength นะครับ because your development team develop the website นะครับ or e-commerce platform to have this we call them as strength while weaknesses are the weaknesses that happen internally or inside your organization as well so if you think that is a weakness you can change it นะครับ for example okay limited financial resources no prior online experience no existing user base no media attention then you can just like try to have conduct the meeting and solve the problem because it's internal one wow opportunities and threats these are factors that are out of your control if these happen นะครับ you cannot change anything นะครับ for example when we talk about opportunities you might say that okay we can sell the products online a lot because the government just locked down the people and the shopping centers are closed the physical shopping centers are closed this is your opportunity you can sell the products and services more online นะครับ and you can see that okay you cannot change anything because the government announced and sometimes people dare not to go outside so it's your opportunity นะครับ you cannot change anything because this one you just acknowledge that this is your opportunity นะครับ potential to develop related site potential to capture significant share to the of this market นะครับ something like this while threats happen externally outside your organization and you cannot control it you have to be aware just that for example approach could be copied by competitors how can you protect it sometimes you cannot do anything but you make sure that okay your business is strong enough นะครับ if other people copy your ideas or copy your approach you don't mind, you can just like do something moreนะครับ to be better than this นะครับ for example when we talk about like some of the music platform นะครับ streaming music platform can somebody tell me ครับ what are leading music platform around the world right now that people use it? Can you type in the chat box for me or use the microphone to help ครับ Can you tell me? Spotify, Apple Music. What else ครับ YouTube Music. What else? Any other ideas about apart from Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Spotify? Joox. Yeah. Okay, when we talk about Tidal, okay, before we have Spotify, sorry, I'm talking about like the streaming music platform. Apart from these ideas that you told me, okay, which one come first ครับ Can you tell me which one come first from the list of the platform that you told me? So in the past นะครับ in the past we had Deezer. Remember Deezer? Okay, we had Joox, but you can see that right now นะครับ right now you have like other platforms that are more popular than Joox and Deezer. Deezer, I'm sure that not many of you use it before นะครับ and also Joox, somebody said that okay, I'm still using it, but you can see that for Spotify นะครับ the ideas or the approach are similar นะครับ but Spotify has like some more features that Joox didn't have. For example, it just like try to analyze your behavior, your pattern of listening to the music, and then just guide the similar kind of music for you. For example, if I play a couple of jazz music นะครับ on Spotify, it realized that okay, if they suggest some jazz music and I listen to it for the whole song นะครับ it detects that okay, so this person should be a jazz fan, then it will try to just analyze more in depth that okay, if I'm in jazz นะครับ what kind of jazz music do I like? If it is the instrumental or if it is vocal นะครับ vocal music. So and if I say that okay, I like the vocal one, what kind of like vocal that I like? I mean, like, is that the old day music, for example, from Frank Sinatra or from Ella Fitzgerald, or the modern people, the modern vocalists like Michael Bublé or something? Then when it analyzes like that, it will start suggesting me นะครับ so you can see that this is the point that the people who think of the platform like what to say Spotify think before that okay, how can they compete with Joox? So that's why they come to be better than Joox นะครับ and for Apple Music and YouTube Music, you can see that these kind of two platforms, the good things is that they have video as well, not just the music นะครับ only. But for the YouTube Music, firstly, they say that because people post the music videos a lot on YouTube, but how can YouTube just group this kind of thing together and just like suggest to the users something like that? So that means okay, when we talk about YouTube Music and Spotify, they are kind of just like separate the group of their potential customers นะครับ okay, because for anyone who watch YouTube, that means okay, you have to just like use two of your modes นะครับ in order to consume that music. That is your eyes and your ears, while Spotify just for your ears only, because you just hear it, then you can do something else while you are just like listening to the music นะครับ something like that. So you can see that you cannot avoid other people นะครับ to copy some approaches of yours something like that. But I mean, like somebody said that, can we register for the patent? Yes, some of the process you can register for the patent, but not everything. So that means some approaches are still be copied by other people anyway. So these are like SWOT analysis that you have to think about. After you have the SWOT analysis already, I suggest that, okay, when you have to develop your plan for the e-business or e-commerce, the SWOT analysis should be in this form, should be in terms of infographics rather than just the bullet points. In this one, it's combination between just like pie chart, sorry, I mean the oval shape with just like 4 sections, but inside there are still the bullet point. Sometimes it might be a bit difficult to read. Then if you just make it as an infographic, it will be very easy. The next one, we talk about the e-commerce presence map. You have to think that, okay, for the type of presence that you have, what platform and what activities do you need to go through? For example, if you want to have your e-commerce presence to be on website, you can have like, think about like the website that your customer may access from. They may use traditional one on the computer, on their mobile phone, on their tablet. So the activities that we can do to promote our e-commerce presence on the website, users or customer can search, display, affiliate, and do the sponsorship on the website that we can have. While the email, if you say that you would like to promote your e-commerce presence over email, it can be internal list and purchase list for the platform. Then for the internal list and purchase list, you can promote the newsletter, updates, and sales over email as well. And in terms of social media, if you would like to have e-commerce presence over social media, the platform might be Facebook, Twitter, blog, might be Instagram, and some social media more in here. So the activity that you can promote your e-commerce presence on this platform might be conversation, engagement, sharing, advice. For the engagement, it might be polling, something like that. It might be something like the voice. For example, in here, if you say that it is Clubhouse, Clubhouse, you can just like promote over the Clubhouse as well. And right now, Twitter also has just like the voice, like the room, that you can just like get together. You can promote the engagement as well through the voice, something like that. And the last one, some of the e-commerce business also still need to have the offline media for promotion of their e-commerce presence as well. Then it might be in form of the print, or TV and radio. TV and radio, we treat them as the offline media because it's not the digital one. The digital one must be in form of just like the web accessible ones. Okay. And then in this one, for offline media, the e-commerce presence can be in form of the activities that are education, expo, and branding. Exposure is expo and branding, right? Okay, so these are the maps that you have to think of. What kind of presence would you like your e-commerce presence to be? And when you think of that presence already, what platform are you going to use? When you know the platform that you plan to use already, what are activities that you are going to promote in that platform? These are the things that you have to think when you think about like the plan for doing the marketing for e-commerce presence. You cannot avoid doing this. Every single e-commerce need to have the e-commerce presence, promotion, and marketing. All right. Okay then. I have to stop my lecture at this point because I think it's 1:41 already. The thing that we are going to do, everyone. So firstly, we have to we need to have the makeup class. That I just like try to schedule the makeup class as soon as I can. And after that, we have to, because actually I need to finish up to module number 5 before we can have the midterm examination. In each module, we spend around 4 hours to complete. So that means I hope that on the next class and a half, we should finish module number 4. And then we need around 2 more classes to finish module number 5. So that means when I know the date and time that we can just like make up the class already, I can just appoint with you for the midterm examination. By the way, the midterm exam should be in this month, so that you can have time. If you are not good at this subject, you may be able to withdraw the subject on time. All right. But anyway, for the midterm examination, it will be in the class time. So don't worry that it will clash with other subjects. Anyone, right? Okay, then everyone up to this point, do you have any questions?